How's everything, man?
Everything's good. I'm feeling great. We're inching closer and closer
Yeah.
to training camp, much anticipated training camp.
Less than
And
two
so,
weeks away from training camp, bro. Let's go.
yes, and hey, today's Wednesday, so hoping the Giants pull off
Oh,
a victory
yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We got something to talk about later. We'll close the show on that note, man.
Uh-oh.
But we'll stick to
Other
hoops
than
right
that,
now. We'll stick to hoops right now.
I'm excited about hoops talk.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing that my basketball team keeps my blood pressure a lot lower than my football team these days. But it is what it
What
is, man.
world?
CK, what's good, man? What's good on the West Coast, man? How you feeling, bro?
Man, everything is good over here. Been enjoying this little off season, but ready to get back to work and grind away. Like you said, 2 weeks away,
Two
man. I'm
weeks.
excited. I'm excited.
Let's go. Let's go, man. And I think the internet and basketball Twitter is very excited because now you're starting to see like some outlandish takes. You're starting to see some crazy news getting thrown about. But nevertheless, let's react to it all, man. We're gonna cover a lot of different news topics today, and then also we'll go through our fan mailbag segment. We took a couple questions from our fans on Twitter that we'll answer as usual. Phone lines are up for the people in the chat. 657-383-1509 is the number to call, or you can hit us up on the Knicks Fan TV Discord. All right, fellas, so real quick, item number one. The ESPN Eastern Conference projections have been released. And they've got the Knicks in seventh place, man. 44-38 is their projected record for the Knicks. Seventh place. That puts us in the play-in tournament, along with the Hornets, the Bulls, and the Pacers. Very, very interesting, man. CK, I'll go with you first, man. What do you think about these projections, and where do you have the Knicks slotted?
Um, to be real, I wasn't in as much of an uproar as everyone else.
Yeah.
I know, we're excited about the change with the team, and we're definitely going to go in a high. Probably going to go in a better direction this year, even though we had a great season last year. But I wasn't upset with it. I wasn't too upset with it because I feel like that second tier where I'm putting us in. Maybe that's premature, but I'm going to put us in that second tier. I feel like it's going to be such a toss up this year because I feel like the entire East got better. So
Yeah.
with how I'm feeling, I'm not ready to make a prediction yet, but I'm feeling more of a 46, 47 range win range. So that's what I'm looking at. But I'm not entirely as upset as everybody else at this 44. Not right now. Again, it's way too early. I'm not too crazy about it, but like I've been saying, I don't think we're gonna be in the play-in this year. I think we'll have a nice safe spot yet again. I'm just not sure where that's going to be just yet because it's going to be a toss-up.
It's going to be a dogfight for sure, right?
Yep.
JD, I said 46. You sticking with the 50 burger? Are you still with
AD
the
on
50
50?
piece? Yeah, JD hit us with the 50 piece
Okay.
nuggets while you were gone, CK. While you on
Okay.
hiatus, JD, he jumped out the window quick, fast, and in a hurry on us.
Okay, I
He
like it.
went with the 50 burger. JD, are you sticking with it? How are you feeling right now?
I'm sticking with it.
He's with it. Okay.
Sticking
Ah,
All
with
right.
it.
All right.
It's funny how it happened because I didn't think it would have so much, it would cause, so many people to actually support the prediction. You had a bunch of phone calls. We had that
Yeah.
run of phone callers, and they all were saying 50. So I think I have no choice but to stick to it now. Um, let's, the 44 wins, I actually think it's a good thing. I mean, we talked about ESPN and the mainstream media, and how many times we went into a season thinking we were going to be, a certain way, and then ESPN had us way lower, even last season,
sure.
right? So I actually look at it as a positive that ESPN is projecting the Knicks to win 44 games in an 82 game season. Like they're projecting the Knicks to be a top 8 seed. So that's a start, right? So
Right.
if 44 wins is what mainstream has us going, like as the floor, hey, you're at 46, 47 CP. I'm at 50. I think anything over that would be a great story. It should be a great story. And it would be a continuation on us having a great season last year. In terms of where I believe that they were projected against everyone else above them,
Yeah.
I have a 50 burger. So I guess if you're looking at the standings, that would have them at 4 seed. the Heat are 49 right now. They would be the fourth seed. So if I'm going 50-51 wins, that would be, contending versus the Sixers for the third seed, which is where I honestly have the Knicks contending. I don't know that they'll get there.
Okay,
I have them
okay.
contending. And this is
All right.
here's why.
All right,
Here's
let's
why.
go. Let's go.
Here's why. Number one, when you look at who they have them against, right? For example, let's go with the Sixers. The Sixers to me are a wild card for the Knicks to get there. To me, they're the wild card because if they keep Simmons, then to me, yes, they are a contender to get 50 wins. They might be that third seed because although everybody's down on Simmons, the fact of the matter is he has made it work with the Sixers during the season. The playoffs and the season are two different seasons. So it does not mean that, they'll get to where they want to get because Simmons stays. It just means that for the season, they'll probably be another 50-51 win team, which would be competition to the Knicks. After the Sixers, which is pending what they do with Simmons, I know everybody's on the Heat, and I'm not saying that they won't be great. But when you look at that roster, their best players are much older players between Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry. And we talk about the Knicks having questions with Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose and Mitch Robinson in terms of players that will be, question marks about their health for 82 games. Guess what? The Heat have those same questions. Yeah. And other organizations are more open to load management than the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau. Thibodeau will be playing, and I can't stress this enough, CP, and it's probably the biggest reason why I'm leaning towards a 50-win season. Tom Thibodeau will play every single game to win, while other teams and other coaches won't be doing that. Let's be real about this. One of the biggest question marks around the NBA is that sometimes teams take nights off. Yeah. Sometimes organizations take nights off, right? And the Knicks won't. So the Knicks, to me, will be able to steal a few games that they're not supposed to win. They'll be able to steal some of those wins, and that will propel them to a 50-win season and just sneak over, let's say, a Miami Heat or Sixers. It does not mean that they'll end up being a better team than them in the playoffs. I am just saying that for an 82-game season with Tom Thibodeau coaching this team, he's not playing any games. He's trying to win every game. Yeah. I think that dynamic will have the Knicks contending for a 3 seed.
Shout out Mr. Mike in the chat says, hold your ground, JD. It's 50.
Yeah.
Chico Fernandez says, I'm jumping out the window with JD. So Team
Let's
JD
go.
in the chat they are riding with you, bro. So stand your ground.
Chat, we got nothing to lose, baby.
Hold
2 weeks
down,
of training
bro.
camp. We got nothing to lose.
And I put a poll up in the chat, so everybody in the chat watching right now, first off, salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Vote in tonight's poll. What do you think the Knicks win total will be? Will it be less than 35, 35 to 40? What do I think I put? I can't even read it now. 40 to 45 or over 45. So vote in the chat, and we'll read the winner before the show's over. I'm with you, JD, in that Tibbs is going to be coaching and win. And he's going to have these guys playing hard. I think Randall's going to still maintain his, 36 minutes a night on average like he did last year, damn near leading the league. I think that'll continue. I still, first and foremost, we have to see how the chemistry plays out, right? Yeah. You have Kemba, you have Fournier coming in. You would hope that those guys being, seasoned vets, hopefully they slot right in, but it's a different dynamic now. This is a point guard where he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. We're going to be able to trust him to make plays better than Peyton has. Maybe the ball goes, maybe Kemba and Randall kind of split some of those duties as far as usage. We got to see how all that comes into play. I also have to see how the perimeter defense changes with the addition of Kemba Walker. How does the pick and roll defense change? How does Fournier's defense hold up? I think those things have to be taken into consideration. Yeah. I'm going to go with, I did say 46 wins either way. So I think, 46 wins should get them around 6, maybe even 5. Right? They have the Hawks. ESPN has the Hawks at 47 and 35. They got the Celtics at 45 and 37. Knicks at 44 and 38. So they're all right there, jumbled up together. My order, I'm going to go with the Nets 1. I'll go Bucks 2.
You see how you
yeah,
paused?
yeah,
You see how you
because
paused? Exactly. That's
because
exactly what I'm saying.
if
After that, you don't know. It's so
yeah.
many things that can happen.
Yeah, tier 2.
If Simmons is saying that he's not showing up to training camp, he's out of there. So I can't put the Sixers up there in third just, because just looking at the rest of the roster. I just can't do that. So I'm still gonna put respect on their name, but I'm gonna drop them down to fifth. I'm gonna put the Hawks in third, unfortunately.
Yep, that's what I got too.
Right?
Yep.
I'm gonna put the Hawks in third.
Yep.
Now fourth.
This is where it gets fun.
This is where it gets fun. I'll put the Sixers fourth. I don't know who they're going to get for him. I just don't know who they're going to get for him. We'll talk about that later, but I'll put them in fourth for right now. Fifth, I'll put the Heat in there, unfortunately. I just feel like, with the Heat, especially if we get into those tiebreaker scenarios, that's a tough team for us, man. They were a tough team for us last year, swept us last year. Spoelstra's defense is on point. I still think they need a bit more shooting, but when you factor in defensively, man to man, when you talk about Lowry, the addition of PJ Tucker, Oladipo coming back. Yes, he's a shell of himself and still injury prone, but still a plus defender. You have Bam out there, you have Jimmy Butler out there. That's a nice defensive squad. Even just going head up on man. Now you add in the Spoelstra dynamics, and these guys are trapping the pick and roll. They're throwing zone at you. They're blitzing coverages. They throw a lot of different things that really fluster the Knicks, and it's a tough matchup for us. So I still think that'll continue. And if it comes down to tiebreakers, I'm gonna put the Heat over us, just a smidge. But then I'm going to put us in sixth. I'm going to put the Celtics in seventh because I think even though they lost Fournier and Kemba, I like what they do, what they have defensively. It's going to, Marcus Smart running the point full time is going to be a big question mark. But adding Josh Richardson, adding Horford, you have Williams taking another step. He was a beast. That kid came on strong last year.
Don't forget new regime and coach.
New regime, Udoka. You have a defensive-minded head coach in Udoka.
Yeah.
And with Tatum, I mean, superstar, and Brown taking another year of maturity. I'm gonna put them right there with us, man. I'm gonna put them right there with us. I'm gonna put us over them for now. Put some respect on the name. We were the 4th seed in the East. Put some respect on the name. So I'll put them over, and then 8th. I'm gonna go with the Pacers, man. I'm going with the Pacers better than the Hornets.
The Hornets.
Yeah, I'm putting some respect on Rick Carlisle's name. A much better, much more competent coach than what they had. You have LeVert coming back healthy. You have Brogdon coming back healthy, which is a bonus in the lineup. Turner as well. A healthy T.J. Warren coming back. You have Duarte coming off the bench, ready to go, plug and play. I think the Pacers are gonna have something to say, man. I think they're also gonna bounce back from last year. So I'm gonna put them 8th. That's gonna be my top 8, and then what do you have? 9 and 10. Let's see, 9 and 10. I'll put the Bulls and Hornets. I'll leave Bulls and Hornets same way. Yeah, I'll put Bulls and Hornets same way. So I'll go Nets, Bucks, Hawks 3rd, Sixers 4th, Heat 5th, Knicks 6th, Celtics 7th, Pacers 8th. CK, how you feeling, bro?
So the Knicks what? 6?
6, yeah.
4, yeah, 6, yeah.
6.
Yeah. Because all he did was he swapped the Hawks up to 3, and then everyone else fell down, and then we come up to 6. Yeah, I don't hate it. I was looking at your top 3 the same way. Actually, you can call me a hater all you want in the chat, and I'll be perfectly fine with that. I'm still gonna give the Bucks the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give them the 1 seed. I just something about the Nets. Like, I get it. They got all these injuries are gonna be my concern for that team. I can't just give them the 1st seed. I get it. They got a great squad put together, but the Bucks coming in with pretty much the same squad. And we know they're really solid in the regular season. So I'm going to give some respect on the Bucks and put them 1, Nets 2, real close. The same way right here, it's 58-57. I think it's going to be the same exact thing. And then, like you, I had the Hawks at 3. And then the rest of it is just jumbled up, man. Your argument's great. The Heat, when it comes to them playing us, they always have our numbers. So for that reason alone, it's like I have to put them above us by a win or 2. And then I'm looking at the Knicks next up. So I don't have any argument. I just think The Pacers take is the only one I'm looking at. I'm a little bit. You're right with Rick Carlisle. It's just I don't like their depth because I just don't. I love Karis LeVert. Just don't trust him health wise. Not sure what to think about Sabonis health wise. A lot of these guys are health concerns. Malcolm Brogdon, who's been a health concern for the majority of his tenure with the Pacers. So I just want to see how they can deal with that. I think the Hornets take a nice little step. They're young, so they're going to be fun during the regular season. Like a lot of you guys, even though they got my boy Zoe over there, I'm not really too excited about the Bulls. So I like where you put them at. So yeah, I like the Knicks at 5 or 6 for sure. Y'all were ready for this though. I was not ready to put 1, 2, 3, 4 because to me, like I said, it's going to be a toss up, and I feel like we can all be very wrong. There could be a world where the Hawks, where the Hawks can continue the hot ending that they had, and they can start off the season first in the East and something crazy like that. There's a lot of situations that can happen, but as of right now, I liked your top. I'll say top 6, and then I'll change it around at the bottom. But yeah, for the most part. I'm looking at the Knicks, looking at that 4, 5, 6 spot. That's what I'm looking at us at for right now.
I mean,
so I asked the question.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all got the Knicks at the 6th seed and all that. All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this question.
Yep.
If the Knicks are healthy, and I'm not saying Kemba 82 games healthy. Let's say Kemba plays 70 games.
Yeah.
Everyone else is healthy. Rose about 70 games.
Mm-hmm.
What is the ceiling of this team in terms of wins or even seeding? Whichever way is easier for you guys to answer. But in other words, because I think if the Knicks are healthy throughout an 82 game season, Kemba plays 70, Rose plays 70, but everyone else is healthy. Rotation is consistent. Everyone else is healthy, ready to go. You guys don't think that's 50?
Yeah, I do because of see this is how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the Nets and the Bucks in the top tier, right? They're in a class by themselves.
Yeah, correct. That's not even
with the whole uncertainty with Philly, I gotta put the Hawks, Philly, the Heat, the Knicks, and even the Celtics in that second tier because I just don't know what Philly's gonna be looking like once they trade Simmons. Right, so even if you take Philly out of as a wild card, I still like the Hawks, the Heat, the Knicks, and even the Celtics. I see a lot of parity there. So with all things considered, I don't think 4th or even 3rd is out of the realm of possibility if everybody's healthy and they gel, chemistry comes together. I don't think it's out of the possibility. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, if everyone's healthy, find me the window. If like you're saying, we get 70 out of Kemba, 70 out of Rose, find me that window. I'm gonna be right behind you, bro. That's definitely a 50-win season, no doubt in my mind. But like I said, to me, you got to play the variable game. There's just too many variables for us and for these other teams. The Sixers, like he's mentioning with the trade, we don't even know when that trade's going to happen. We don't even know if there's going to be a point where he doesn't get traded and he doesn't play, and then randomly he starts to play, and then they're all out of sync. Like, we don't know what's going to be happening. So, to me, I just feel like there's just too many variables for me to jump all in on that. But I agree that the Sixers will be a second-tier team. But as far as us, with your scenario, your 2K scenario that you're handing us right now, where we get a 70-game piece out of Kemba and D Rose. Yeah, let me find that window with you, JD. That's easy 50, easy 50. We can talk about 52, 53 because I feel like we're already well-rounded and deep as it is. And if we have all of our guys for the majority of the season, oh yeah, big facts. I'm with you on that 50 for sure.
I mean, obviously, but my prediction is based on I'm going with what I believe is the ceiling. I get everyone. The way that you're basically supposed to do is you put all the variables, as CK mentioned, you put all the factors into play, and then you come to a determination of what you think the team will produce. Right. I'm just going with what I think is the ceiling. I'm going with coach of the year. I'm not thinking about the playoffs because obviously if we get influenced by the playoffs, then Randall stinks, right? RJ didn't do any. Like, if we go by that, then I think my floor with the Knicks will be lower. I'm going with coach of the year, and I'm basing it on the fact that when I look at the competition, I look at the Sixers, even with Simmons or without, Embiid gets one injury, which I don't wish injury upon anybody. But when we talk about questions, because everybody wants to talk about the Knicks questions, guess what? These other teams have questions too.
Yeah.
And they're not made up questions. They're real legitimate questions. Embiid being healthy for an 82-game season is a real legitimate question.
For sure.
It hasn't happened. So if that happens to that Sixers team, then what happens? Right?
Yeah.
But say Kemba gets hurt, this Knicks team has depth. I mean, we're gonna be talking about, we're over here talking about the rookies, how we're gonna find a way for the rookies to get playing time, let alone if Kemba gets hurt, we have Rose to back up. If Mitch gets hurt, we have Noel to back up. We have like this Knicks team, I think, is well equipped to handle different circumstances that will materialize during the season. It may be best equipped to handle that than some of these top heavy teams that rely so much on a Jimmy Butler, on a Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? So that's also what I look at it in terms of a long stretch of an 82-game season. Things happen, and I just think the Knicks will steal a few more wins and contend for the third seed. I think they're probably 4, but contend for the third seed.
And early returns on the chat poll, an overwhelming majority think 46 plus wins for these Knicks. All right, so we got a lot of people jumping out the window right now. They're all voting, and since they're voting anonymously, they are feeling very brave right now. All right, I see a couple tomatoes in the chat for me and UCK. They're saying we lacking faith. But I mean, come on, people. Look, I put 26 wins last year, so I gave y'all 20 plus. I'm with the people this year, man. I said 46. So let's see what happens, man.
I feel confident with my 47.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Icewater, you up first, man. What's going on? Icewater from Brooklyn wants to jump in. Icewater, how you feeling, man?
Hey, what's going on?
What's good, bro?
Yeah, first, right, the ESPN rankings. Why does anybody even listen to ESPN?
No, I mean, we really don't. This is really just for conversation purposes. You know what I'm saying?
ESPN is just notoriously wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that puts Michael Jordan as the greatest college basketball player of all time you don't even listen to those people.
That was ridiculous.
But I agree with a lot of what you guys have been saying about the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks is going to be 7th. I said before the last time that I was on, I expect the Knicks to contend for the Eastern Conference Finals. That's just my feeling.
Yeah.
Based on the team that we have. I'm looking at 50 wins, anywhere between 50 and 55. And I'm just going on past history.
Okay.
And this other thing, I want to ask you guys.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say earlier that the East has gotten better. Can somebody? Where has the East gotten better at? I don't.
Yeah.
Did the Nets get better?
I think so.
Not really.
I think they've added more depth.
I
think they've added more depth with Patty Mills, with James Johnson. I think they have.
Patty Mills. That's about it. Everybody else is kind of like iffy. Where did Milwaukee get better?
Well, they're the champs. You got to put some respect on their name.
But that doesn't mean that you. But that doesn't mean that you got better. You just won last year.
Right. The champions come out of the East.
Where did Philly get better?
Well, that's a question mark. We don't know. What if Philly gets Dame? We don't know. Philly's a question mark, right? So let's throw Philly out of there.
Atlanta didn't get any better.
However, I hear you, but the Hawks are on. They have momentum carrying over from last year. You got to put some respect on their name, Icewater. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals with this team.
Yeah, but that was last year.
Yeah.
And, it's just like anything. What you did last year does not carry over to the next season. It just doesn't.
You're right. You're right.
You hope that it does, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So the Knicks, to me, have exponentially got better. The backcourt is just way better. You got rid of 2 of the Toast brothers. You still got one of the Toast brothers left, but you got rid of
I think this is the caller that named them that.
Yes. This is definitely the caller that named them the Toast brothers, man.
But there's still one left, but I mean, whatever.
Wait, who's the one that's left?
Kevin Knox.
Oh, okay.
He's still there. But I'm just saying, with Kemba and Evan Fournier, you have upgraded the backcourt significantly.
Yeah.
So whatever you lost on defense, you've gained a ton on offense. I just see why I don't see why the Knicks shouldn't be the third seed. I just don't see why.
Right.
And I don't see why we can't win between 50 and 55 wins.
So, all right. So he's with JD, man. Icewater definitely appreciate the call, man. The Toast Brothers. French Toast.
Oh, wow, for that, man.
Yeah.
Looks like they're gonna be testy tonight, CP.
Yeah. No, well, good. That's why we come on, man. We don't want boring callers. Icewater definitely brings the heat, so we definitely appreciate the call. Look, I look at this Nets team. I felt like from the draft to free agency, I thought they've done well based on what they're working with. I thought they did well. The Bucks are the champs. You got to put some respect on their name. They brought back Portis. I forgot the other additions that they made. They made some smaller free agency additions, but you got to put some respect on their name. Philly's a wild card. I thought the Heat got better, especially defensively. You know, is Lowry an upgrade over Dragic? Yes.
Yes.
You had a PJ Tucker, world champ, 3-and-D player. Definitely improves their defense for sure. We'll see what Oladipo gives them. That was a midseason acquisition. I still think the Hawks are riding a wave, man. They're coming in with chemistry. Yes. It doesn't mean that they'll be able to repeat that. Just look at the Miami Heat, perfect example. They went from the NBA Finals in the bubble to getting waxed in as a 2-7 seed.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics, I think defensively they've gotten better. We'll see what happens on the offensive side. I'm not so sure. I think we've upgraded. I think Charlotte's gotten better. You had second-year LaMelo, CK. You add Hayward with Rozier. They got Oubre. They drafted my guy from UConn. Miles Bridges took a step. P.J. Washington. I think the Hornets look good. Bulls obviously upgraded their starting five. Their bench is weak.
Yeah.
And I think the Pacers, you know, they didn't make crazy moves in the offseason, but I just think them coming together healthy, I think they'll be better than last year.
The Nets definitely, I mean, I don't know what the Nets definitely got better. I mean,
100%.
They upgraded from Landry Shamet to a champion and consistent shooter. Landry Shamet is a good shooter, but he's not necessarily a consistent shooter.
Yeah. With
Patty Mills. They added LaMarcus Aldridge is coming back, right? So let's see what he gives you. Paul Millsap, veteran.
Yep.
Now, I know that, you know, there's questions about what he has left in the tank, but at the same time, what he was asked to do in Denver is not what he's going to be asked to do in Brooklyn. He's just probably going to play a few minutes, just be insurance policy. Yeah. And Blake was a nice fit. He was rejuvenated as a role player with the Nets. You're looking at year 2, you know, and they're going to start off fresh. So I think they're more explosive offensively. I don't know that they got better defensively. Yeah. The Hawks, listen, they're relying on their talent taking the next step. I mean, we talk about some of our young players developing. Their roster's all about young talent. And they just went through a playoff experience. And now they know who they're going with in terms of Nate McMillan going into the season. So you would think that would be a plus. And if those guys take the next step in their developments, they could be, you know, one of those rising, you know, teams. And then after that, I think it depends with the Sixers, what they do with Simmons. The Celtics, I think there's a lot of questions. I'm not as high on the Celtics as some are because they've had the Jaylen Brown. There's a lot of rumblings in Boston about what is going to be the future of Jaylen Brown and Tatum because they're not so sure that is the best fit in terms of them two.
Each other.
They're not questioning their individual talents. There's just rumblings about them together. Is that enough to propel them to championship contention? So this is a big year for the Celtics. And if that doesn't work, they may be looking at most likely trading Jaylen Brown to surround Tatum with, you know, a different set of new players to see if that's going to work. So the East, to me, individually, you know, I guess everybody gets better, but not everybody meets those expectations. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely see what happens, man. Great comments, great call by Icewater. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Just hitting the reset here. This is KnicksFanTV Live presented by Manscaped. As usual, fellas, go to manscaped.com. Enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Got the Lawnmower 4.0, the Performance Package 4.0. Make sure you guys go to manscaped.com. Support the show. Enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Also, another announcement I wanted to make. The home opener event, the KnicksFanTV home opener event right now is sold out. We sold out that fast, ladies and gentlemen. We're working with MSG to get some more tickets. I'll let you guys know if you guys are interested. Definitely contact us. Make sure you either DM me on Instagram, email me knicksfantv@gmail.com. Let me know if you guys are interested. We will get more tickets. But as of right now, the home opener event is sold out, and the ticket package includes the pregame show hosted by myself, JD, at Mustang Harry's. That's going to be at about 4:30 p.m. We're going to have some appetizers included in the package, happy hour deals on beers and liquor as well. Might have some guests stopping by, so the pregame show is going to be lit. Then during the game, we're going to have giveaways. We're going to have raffle giveaways. We're going to have gift bags, all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be great. Obviously, we'll have the halftime show going on from MSG. And then post-game, we'll have the immediate post-game show from outside of MSG for you guys to participate in. And then after the game as well. So it's going to be a great package. We're still working on the fan experience based on COVID and everything. We're not sure if we're going to have access to pregame shoot-around or the post-game free throw contest, but we're still working with MSG on that. If we have that, that'll be added to the package as well, so stay tuned on that. But again, for right now, it's sold out, and we're waiting to see if we can get some more tickets. So just wait and see on that. Wait for the announcement.
What a way to start the season, TP.
Yeah.
I mean, KnicksFanTV is giving you a pregame show. Everything. They're giving you a pregame show way before the game. So the anticipation to build to the game, you're going to have a nice pregame show to kind of get you more excited. Then we're going to have the halftime, the postgame at the Garden, get a little bit of the vibes, the energy, the atmosphere, and then the real postgame on the channel.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
we end-to-end coverage, JD.
That's what it's about, man.
End-to-end coverage is what we're about, man. So it's gonna be a good event. Looking forward to it. We are almost a month away from the first game of the season, so it's crazy. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. So as I was collecting the questions for the fan mailbag, there was a guy named Joe from Staten Island who said he wanted to smoke with Jay from Florida. So as a promoter, I cannot deny the smoke. So the Smokecast, the Battle of the Fans, has to ensue because I'm a man of the people. I want to give the people what they want. And right now, we got both guys on the line right now. So I'm gonna let these fighters out of their cage and let them have at it.
Come on, let me know so I can got some popcorn, CP. Come on, man.
Yeah. So first and foremost, let's let Joel from Staten Island in here. Joel, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, Joe. What's up?
What's up, man? I mean, do you want to smoke with Jay from Florida or what, man? What's going on?
I want all the smoke. Bro.
Man,
I'm ready,
bro.
All right, this is what we're here for, man. This is what we're here for. So without further ado,
KnicksFanTV for the fans, by the fans.
For the fans, by the fans, man. You know the vibes.
Talk to 'em.
You know the vibes.
I know the vibes, bro.
And on the line, weighing in, I don't know his weight, but he's checking in from somewhere in Florida. He goes by the name of Debbie Downer. They throw tomatoes at him in the chat, but he's here for all of it.
Yeah.
Jay from Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Jay, what's going on, bro?
I'm 6'5", 295.
6'5",
295.
6'5", 295.
I'm like a D lineman.
Okay, all right, no problem. Well, fellas, you know the rules, man. Yeah. This is a family show. Just remember that. Let's keep it clean, keep it peaceful. But Joel, I'll let you have your first statement.
My first statement is, so tell me, bro, how a team has a lucky season for a 72-game season.
That's a question?
That's a question.
Let me give you a little background of Meek J from Florida, right? I told people I'm the ultimate Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan since October 1994. I was 8 years old. You seen the crying kid on KP draft? I was the crying kid when they lost Game 7 of the finals. I seen excellence year after year after year at MSG. We went to the playoffs every year. That's what I want again. I want excellence. I don't want a phantom fourth seed to come blind the fans. Half of the highlight CP showing up there, there's tarps on the seats. Randall, all them boys, they different players when we got actual fans in the seats. I want excellence. I'm tired of just making. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Joe. I'm
right.
listening,
So you
man.
said,
come with your points, man.
You telling me that a 72 game season, you're telling me solely because of fans that the team won 41 games? Because I've been hearing you say this for about the last 3 months. We should have tanked. We should have been the 11th pick. That 9-game winning streak was fool's gold.
Okay.
Like, tell me how that's even possible, bro, in the NBA, bro.
Listen, the man that a lot of Knicks fans wanted to come run the franchise before Leon, Masai Ujiri, went on his podium and said he wants to tank. He said that he's promoting tanking. He said he has to take a look at his young players. He has to see what he has. It's a business. You can't win anything in the NBA without prime time talent. The fourth seed is fool's gold, right? We got Kemba Cool. We got D Rose. They both in their 30s. We still need a point guard. We
still need a point guard.
Max. We
just drafted two. We just drafted. We have two.
Come
on,
Miles McBride is a good player, but he's not a box office point guard. We need somebody in there for 10 years. We need to go get SGA or Fox, or we need somebody real. I want to win a championship, man. I just don't want to make it to the playoffs and get washed by the Knicks.
Bro, I'm a young guy. I've been a fan since 2010. I'm a young guy. When I was a kid, I've seen no winning in this. I want to win a championship too, but you got to start somewhere. You can't.
Since 2010, you've seen nothing, brother. You've seen
that's
nothing.
what I just told you. And I want to. You got to build something. You got to build something. You can't just be losing, and expect anything to come good from that, bro. Come on, bro. We've been doing the tanking thing for years, bro.
You got to draft your players. You got to draft your players, brother.
Pick in the draft. I don't want to go through that anymore.
Listen, that's where the talent comes from. If in the 90s, if the Knicks would have had Rod Strickland playing point guard the whole time, it would have been a different story and a good wing. If we had Allen Houston instead of John Starks, it would have been a different story. You got to draft your talent. You got to get homegrown contract control talent. Mitch should have been signed, right? I saw Mitch put up a Snapchat talking about, Taj is rolling around in the Rolls Royce. They got Taj driving in Mitch's salary. Mitch should have been signed. You sign your homegrown talent. You play Knox. You don't play Burks. Last year, Thibodeau was playing Knox at the beginning of the season. He needs to do the same thing this season.
He's trying to win, bro. He's trying to win, bro. He's not going to put players on the court that ain't going to help winning, bro.
Listen,
they trying to build something, bro.
Contract. They all
gotta build something,
They don't care about you, bro.
Kevin Knox is not an NBA player, bro. Kevin Knox is not an NBA player, bro.
Coaches got to do their job, man.
Bro,
they got to do their job. Obi's going to be a different player. Obi got a kid. His mindset is different now. You got to play the kids. You got to play.
So what? You want them to bench Randall for Obi? That's what you want? How do you want to do that?
I want him to half and half. I want him if Obi balls, I want to do what you want to do.
That just hit second team All NBA.
Half and half. Randall's full goal. That season was fake. We gonna come right back down to earth.
Fake, bro. This dude, you guys act like this dude never did this before in the NBA, bro. This is his third straight year. I thought he was in 20 and plus, bro. 10 rebounds, bro.
We'll see what happens. Right. Like I said.
All right, bro. We'll see, bro.
We'll see what happens. Listen, the Hawks is the blueprint. The Hawks are going out there signing their draft picks to max contracts. That's what you want to be. They got 10 years.
We got RJ right here, bro. You guys act like there were 4 rotational players who were draft picks of ours, bro. In the rotation, bro. 2 in the start lineup, 2 coming off the bench, bro. But they also had a bunch of veterans around them. Danilo Gallinari, that's a veteran.
Tim don't want to play kids,
that's
man.
a veteran.
I'm not worried about the veterans. Bogdanovich is one veteran. You got Collins. You got
Gallinari's another. Is one veteran too? Clint Capella? Who else? There's Lou Williams is in the rotation as well. You can't just make a team over all young guys,
Williams
bro.
Don't matter, man. Lou Williams don't matter, man. You know who Lou Williams
He's
don't
a
matter.
backup point guard on that team, bro. He was playing in the series, bro.
They gonna leap us. The Celtics is back with their new coach.
The Celtics is not leaving the Knicks, bro. I guarantee you, bro. I'm guaranteeing it right now on this call, the Knicks is winning 50 games.
Oh, okay.
50 games. Come on.
I'm guaranteeing it,
Max
bro.
42. I'm going with ESPN.
Bro,
Max
I'm guaranteeing. Bro, I'm guaranteeing. Max, ESPN had us at 44, bro. If you listen to ESPN, bro, I don't know what to tell you, man.
All right, fellas. All right,
42 wins.
Good battle. Touch gloves. We're gonna put both callers on mute right now.
They kept it clean. They kept it clean.
Touch gloves. Fellas, CK and JD, who do we think won here? JD? I'll start with you, man. What do you think?
Yeah, what you got, JD?
You know who I think won. He said the Knicks gonna win 50.
You just with the 50 picks.
I gotta stick to it, man. I mean, he made some good points. He pointed out the veterans on the Hawks. I get what he's saying. The Knicks, we've gone through enough pain. Listen, you've mentioned yourself. A lot of times you've also agreed with Jay from Florida. So we got to give him that.
Right.
Times that he brings up some legitimate stuff. The way that he wants to build is not necessarily the wrong way. I just think that in today's NBA, it's just a balanced attack. You have to do a little bit of everything because it's just too difficult. When you look at Giannis, the Bucks won. Giannis wasn't like Jay always wants to tank, right? He wants to get a top 5 pick. Was Giannis a top 5 pick?
No, I believe he was about 14 to 17.
Yeah,
13?
Yeah, 15 or something like that.
Whatever it was, 15. Yeah, but it wasn't a top 5 pick. Was Devin Booker a top 5 pick?
Book was 14, I believe.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at some of these top players, Kawhi Leonard. Was Kawhi Leonard a top 5 pick? Was Paul George a top 5 pick? They weren't top 5 picks. You know what I mean? How many times are you going to get LeBron at number 1?
I think, the
Kyrie was the number 1 pick.
The Toronto thing was okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? Kyrie was a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
But he won a championship with who? With LeBron.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's been questions about him leading a team. Ben Simmons. What pick was Ben Simmons? And what is the talk now? So what I'm saying is, it's just too difficult, CP, to just say, oh, you have to get a top 3 pick and you're automatically. I mean, we all wanted Zion, but let's see what happens with Zion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so great. Can the Pelicans go to the playoffs this year, please? Can they go to the playoffs so that we can start validating a lot of what we believe Zion can become? I'm just saying all these points are just to illustrate that, yes, you want the highest pick, but in today's NBA, you just don't know, CP. It's just too difficult. You look at the way that the Warriors built that championship, right? It's easy to say now, but they had to get Draymond Green in the second round. Look at the way they hit on Clay. Look at the way they hit on Curry, which he should have been a Knick.
Yeah.
But if you look at Harrison Barnes, you look at all their draft picks, Barnes, Curry, Thompson, Green, and even Festus Ezeli, which was a Warriors pick. None of them were top 5 picks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So what you really need is you need a top-notch draft department, and you need a smart front office that's able to spend the right way and build assets so that you're equipped to either make a big trade or continue to build through the draft. And that's all. I mean, if Trae Young doesn't take this leap in the playoffs, who knows what the expectations are for the Hawks going into next season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what we hope in RJ. Maybe RJ is the guy that takes that next step. Doesn't have to be super duper superstar. But if he takes that next step, guess what? The Knicks will be talked about next year as that next, team that's ready to make that maybe championship step, with a few other additions. So
that's a good point.
That's all I'm saying.
Before I get to CK, so to everybody in the chat, who won the Battle of the Fans? We had an impromptu surprise Battle of the Fans between Joel from Staten Island, Jay from Florida. The poll is up in the chat right now, or leave some comments in the chat. What do you guys think? Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Let's get to over 500 likes. Let's break the YouTube algorithm. We just had a classic battle on our hands. And let's get those likes up, man. CK, go ahead with your points. I'm going to step away for 2 seconds. Go ahead, CK.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I gotta say, man, shout out to Jay. Jay came in there like the vet. You know, he went into this fight like Mayweather. You know, he was on the defensive. He let Joel, throw the swings. Hit the uppercuts. You see, he was feeling them out. I was feeling Jay's perspective. And to the draft point, like you were talking about, I feel like Jay, what he kind of contradicted himself a little bit, but what I feel like Jay was talking about was building through the draft, like you were mentioning. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be with a top pick, and I think that's what the point he's trying to make. The only problem with that is then he contradicted himself by saying Miles McBride wasn't nothing, and that's when he kind of lost me a little bit there. And I think that's a fair argument. I think that's an argument that a lot of us were co-signing for the longest time because like he mentioned with the Hawks, you've seen the Hawks do it the way that they did it. They're going with their younger guys. They're re-signing their dudes, and they're going in the right direction. That's the direction that I'm sure a lot of us were hoping that the Knicks are going. I mean, obviously our draft was a bit different, drafting Frank Ntilikina's and Kevin Knox's, but I feel like that's more of a front office situation than a Knicks tanking poorly situation. So I think there were some fair points there. I gotta be real with you. Joel he was taking a lot of good swings, but none of them were connecting in my eyes. I think Jay, I know that the chat's not feeling it, but I feel like Jay had a lot of counters for a lot of the things that Joel was bringing to him. Though I don't agree with a lot of things that Jay says. To me, this is a win
going with
by
Jay.
Jay.
Interesting.
I gotta go with Jay.
Okay, so
sorry,
we have
Joe. Love what
so
you brought,
do I
Joe,
need to break the tie? Wow, that's pressure right now.
And real quick, it all ties in together because I get what he's saying in terms of building through the draft, and it doesn't have to be a top 5 pick.
Right.
But we've also had a bunch of lottery picks, and we haven't hit on it.
Yeah.
So it ties in together in the sense that, okay, we've been building with the number 8 pick. We've had all these top picks. Let's see what happens with Obi. It ties in together in that you still need a strong draft department. So it doesn't matter.
Thank you. I was just going to say that's right.
You still need, because we've been bad for how long? And we've been around the lottery.
Yep.
So we've been in positions to build a good team. It's not like we've been having the 15th pick every year. You know what I mean? Like over the past few years, we talked about how we haven't been, we've kind of taken a step back because of some of these previous lottery picks haven't panned out and how that actually pushes back your franchise. Yep. If those picks would have panned out, the team may be a little bit more advanced at this point. So that's why I think it's a balanced attack. Yeah. Jay's points are right, and some of the things that the other caller said are also correct.
But you're also going Joe because he said 50 wins. So you going Joe.
That's the only reason why.
All right, so you going Joe. CK's going Jay.
Yeah, I'm with Jay.
Man, I can't punt on my own show, but I'll say this. Both fighters had good points.
Right.
There have been times when I have agreed with Jay from Florida, especially my frustration. We went through the 17-win season before getting RJ, and it's tough, man, because you just feel like without that game changer, without that superstar, that dynamo, you're never going to go anywhere. And a lot of times we feel like those players are at the top of the draft. Now, JD, yes, you can point to Giannis and you can point to Booker, the two guys who are in the finals being late teens picks. You can point to Kawhi Leonard, what he did with that Toronto Raptor team. That Raptor team had no lottery picks on there, but luck plays a big part of every facet of winning the championship in the league, whether it's drafting, whether it's getting timely free agents like what the Nets just did, overhauling their whole team. They got two guys who were scared of the limelight to come to the Knicks. They went to the Nets. They threw everybody out except for Joe Harris, and then they got James Harden. We'll see where that gets them. It looks like they could win the championship with that, but we'll see. That's not an orthodox way of building a team. To me, a lot of that has luck to plays into that. For me, yes, the Raptors won that chip without lottery picks and so on and so forth, but they also got lucky that Kevin Durant tore his Achilles and that Klay tore his ACL. Those guys healthy, they would have made it a competitive series as they did, but I don't think they're winning it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're winning it. LeBron, generational talent. Those guys come around once every, 10 years, if that? The game changes. The guys that could build a team on his own. A team changer like that. I just think it's hard to really pinpoint one way or the other. You look at teams, Minnesota Timberwolves, career lottery team, gone nowhere. Sacramento Kings, career lottery team, going nowhere. You know, the talent that you bring in, you got to get lucky. You got to hit. You have to hit.
So you know what you have to do then, CP?
Yeah.
You have to keep winning, because the domino effect of everything you're saying
Yeah.
is that the Raptors got lucky, not only with the Warriors, but guess what? They got lucky too that, you know, they traded for Kawhi, that they were able to. They were in
They took a
position
gamble.
to be able to make that transaction, right? A lot of people give Pat Riley all this credit. Guess what? You know who LeBron still has a relationship with today? Not Pat Riley. It's Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
It's Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
It's so it wasn't that Pat Riley made this magic. It was more so that LeBron James just decided to team up with friends. That's where the luck comes into play. But you have to put yourself in a position to have an argument, to be lucky. You have to create your own luck. And the way you create your own luck is the Knicks continue to be in that position. And who knows? People talk about maybe Donovan Mitchell in 2 years, maybe Bradley Beal next year, maybe Zach LaVine. I mean, if you look at these ESPN projections and the way that you were laying out your standings, guess what? That means there's going to be questions to be answered in Chicago and Washington, because Washington is not even on that list.
Yeah.
And the Bulls, we have barely making it. And guess who's incoming free agents? Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal. You think if the Knicks are trash next year that they're even going to think about coming to the Knicks?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
So to me,
Winning
the way
plays
that,
a part. Winning plays a part.
right,
For sure.
it's a percentage game. It's a probability game. And the more you look to build a balanced team, right, and try to draft for value like a Grimes, like a McBride, while you're still winning, the higher the probability that either a star demands a trade to your team or a future free agency just says, you know what, I'm going to the Knicks.
Yeah.
There's no chance to me of that happening if you're just in the bottom of the barrel and you're just praying that you hit on a draft pick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I think you know, Joel mentioned the Hawks, and look at what they did. Well, first and foremost, they got a great talent, a superstar on the rise in Trae Young, in a draft where you could look at that Trae Young and Luka Doncic trade, and I'm not sure that there's a more even draft day trade than that. You know, Vince and Anton Jameson. Vince turned out to have a better career. Just thinking off the top of my head, a couple. Penny and Weber. If Penny was healthy, I think he would have had every bit of a good career, if not better, than Chris Webber. I think they both would have ended up in the Hall of Fame. Congrats to C. Webb for making it, though. Those are just a couple that come to my head. But that Luka trade deal, you know, turned out to be fairly even. But what the Hawks did last year was they went all in trying to, you know, surround him with a supporting cast of veterans, to Joel's point, to help him win. And it got him all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. They brought in Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Lou Williams, Capella. Who else did they have? I mean, that was the majority of the supporting cast.
Gallinari.
Yeah, I said Gallinari. You know, they were able to surround him with those vets. Knicks did the same thing. Now the question is our number 3 pick, can he take it to the next level? Can he be that Trae level, you know, 20-point-a-night all-star caliber player? Then you're cooking. You know what I'm saying? Then you're cooking. So I say that to say there's no one way to do it. But I'm going to lean with my guy Joe from Staten Island, man. I'm going to lean with my guy Joe from Staten Island because in putting it in Knicks terms right now, I think the way that they've built this team to stay competitive, bringing in quality vets to help them win games will, like JD said, will appeal to others on the outside looking in, but also it'll keep the roster flexible if they need to make a sign and trade. Is it Levine? Is it the Spider down the road? Is it Zion? I don't want him here, but some of you guys like Zion. I'm just saying, them type of players, I think they can still keep the roster flexible and make a couple flips because they have a lot of assets still. So I think the Knicks are in a good position to build that way. So I'm going to lean with Joe. No offense to Jay from Florida. That's my guy. That's my brethren. We rock the Jamaican flag together. I do agree with Jay on some points because you do need that top-heavy talent, but I think you can get it in different ways, especially now, the way teams are building.
And when I look at the future of the NBA, outside of LeBron and KD, who are getting older, would you say that there's a player that you know for a shadow of a doubt that you would fear in the playoffs? Like that has the KD effect, that has the Kobe effect, that has the LeBron effect. Like is Luka that player to you? I know he won a championship and 100% respect. Uh, is Giannis that player to you if he still is not able to develop a outside shot? I know he was dominant when it came down to it, but
Yeah.
if he would have played some of these other teams healthy, the Nets healthy, the Lakers, like, do you think that would still happen? I mean, I don't know. Like when you look at the future, the immediate future of the NBA, I don't know that there's a superstar that's. I mean, as of right now, that I would be like, man, we have no shot, like I did when we played those Miami Heat teams or any
Yeah.
LeBron team.
Yeah.
In his prime. I don't think right now there isn't that player. There's a lot of players that the NBA is hoping can carry that torch. I guess the easiest answer right now would be Giannis, but I honestly
It's
still
KD for
wouldn't
me,
fear
bro.
Giannis.
It's still
Yeah.
KD. It's still KD.
Yeah,
for
but
me,
KD is
And
like
it's
what,
also
30, 32, 33. So I'm saying
Right.
like,
Yeah.
2 years from now, he's a little later, older. I don't see a player that I would really fear.
Yeah, you're
Right,
saying
and it's also
is it
because
that
a lot of these teams
generational
are by
talent?
committee now.
Yeah,
A lot of these teams are
right.
by committee. You're. To JD's point, you're right. I mean, obviously, like CB was just gonna say, like KD is the guy, but to JD's point, a lot of these dudes that by themselves, you're right. There's not that guy that when they come to ground like, man, he gonna kill us and then we gonna lose. No, there's that we don't have that anymore. But it's by committee because now all these teams got 2 or 3 of them. So I think we look at it a lot differently now because a lot of these guys are coming together in the same example of the Nets, and we'll see in the future, if these other guys like you mentioned with Zion, if he ends up leaving the Pelicans and goes to join up with somebody else. I know a lot of Knicks fans are hoping it's with us and RJ Barrett and stuff like that, but I think that's just what the wave is going to be until we get that next step. I mean, we don't know. We just had our latest draft. We don't know if K is going to be that guy. We don't know if Jalen Green is going to be that guy. But yeah, to your point, you're right. Outside of this past generation, even though it's coming to the end, unfortunately soon, you're right. I don't know who's that guy to look at because I don't see any of these guys right now as that by themselves. To be honest,
Right. And that's all my point is that now when you look at the future, I'm seeing some Currys in there, some KD, some bro. I said outside of those.
Yeah, this coming.
So I'm looking 2 years down the road.
Right. I
And
get what
these guys that you guys are mentioning are going to be 35, 36. Anthony Davis has question marks. Can he lead a team? So what I'm saying is the way that people view the NBA in terms of the way it's trending more to sort of a parity type situation where you need to actually build. I mean, the Hawks almost made the finals. The Hawks could have made the finals. They were, if things would have played out. I mean, the Suns in a regular year, do you really think the Suns without Chris Paul, like, do you really? Because I think that's a lot of it is Chris Paul. Yes, Devin Booker's taking the next step, but the future of the NBA, you really need to build a team. Unless we're gonna go through this whole super team era again, which I don't know that that's gonna happen with the CBA the way things are going.
Fair points, man. Let me get a call in here, and then we'll go to our mailbag. I gotta go to my guy, Lord Scientist, bro. First off, who won the battle? If you tuned in for the battle, who won the battle? And then go ahead with your question, bro.
All right. Who won the battle? First, salute, CK, my dude, CK2K. Salute, JD. Listen, Team 50 ball. But yeah, CP. Check this out.
Yeah.
I would have to go with my man, Joe. I respect my man, Jay from Florida.
Yeah.
He be having some valid points.
Yeah.
And if it was anybody else besides the 50-ball team, JD, let's go, he would have had a better shot. But no, my man brought what he brought, and I believe he caught him with a couple of nice hooks and jabs when he wasn't prepared for it. He should have been bobbing and weaving instead of sticking and moving.
Okay.
Let's go. I like that analysis, bro.
Real quick, let me slide the point in. Okay, check this out. First of all, JD, a few minutes ago, you gave an excellent breakdown. Like, when you consider the overall improvement of the Knicks, listen, we just got rid of the idiot whose name I'm not going to mention, the ex-president, who for 20-plus years had us in contracts, owing people money, and doing things that did not help to progress the culture. We've changed the culture. I saw an interview last year or during the season where RJ said what we did was we put the league on notice that we're a playoff team. Listen, RJ said that. You know what I mean? Our number 3 pick. So one thing we can consistently say, let's use Julius. Julius has consistently improved. His first year with us, okay, you know, it was a little squeaky, what have you. But overall, if you look at the time from the time he entered the NBA in the Lakers to New Orleans to now with us, this man wants to play for us. He wants to improve. He goes and he puts the work in. And he led us. Like everybody in the team, every MSG outtake from any player of the thing, they would say how Julius works so hard. He's such an inspiration. He's our leader. Then he accomplished what he accomplished. Okay, now let's go. We got Kemba now. We got Fournier. Excuse me, because he's French. Name is French, but Evan Fournier. Listen, we have the capabilities now. This is just the starting 5. Nobody can really just say, okay, when you look, you know, we're going to worry about Kemba's knees, yeah. But still, we have the ability, like I said last time, to move the ball. Defense is going to respect Kemba coming and breaking it down. They're going to collapse.
They're going to have to.
He has wing players. Evan going to hit the 3. RJ can hit the 3. Julius. Listen, pick and roll. Mitch to the basket. Gotham lobs. This is our starting 5. We ain't even getting into the bench. Our bench is best. Just give me the top 4 teams in the East whose bench can really mess with the Knicks. And this is why the 50 ball is like right in our face.
He's with it.
Because of our bench alone. And I'm out.
Let's go.
I ain't got no more. Salute.
Lord Scientist. First he drops the fight analysis, and then he's rolling with JD and Team 50. It's good points, though.
Right.
It's good points. Very, very good points, man. Shout out my guy, Lord Scientist. Came with the fire. All right, we're going to close with Angel, but fellas, let's run through these mailbag questions real quick. Salute to everybody who submitted some questions. Definitely appreciate that. We get some appropriate tunes here. All right, fellas. Here is mailbag question number 1, and it's coming from my guy DFS. He says, out of Miami, the Bulls, Celtics, Hawks, who gives the Knicks the biggest competition next season? CK, what are you thinking, man?
There's a close tie between Miami and the Hawks. I'm never not going to have the Miami Heat giving the Knicks competition because that's just what they do. They can win, 3 games a season, and all 3 of them could be against the Knicks because they just always come prepared against us. But also got to give some love to the Hawks because it's going to be fun this year. But, it's a tie between Miami and Atlanta for me.
JD, what are you thinking, bro?
I'm gonna go with the Hawks over the Heat. I think I would rank it Hawks, Heat, Celtics, Bulls. I just think the Hawks, when you talk about a 7-game series, I just think that, you know, the matchups and what the Hawk players are able to do individually, I think it's more challenging for the Knicks than the Heat, because I know Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry are immediate names to think about, but Jimmy Butler can't shoot threes, and he not only can he shoot threes, he doesn't want to shoot threes. So to me, in a 7-game series with Tom Thibodeau on the other side, that's easier to defend than defending Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, Lou Williams, Danilo Gallinari. Like, there's so much more individual talent in Atlanta, and the rivalry that's brewing. I know we've had the rivalry with Miami in the past, but there's more immediate kind of hype and anticipation. Right. Hawks are coming off a successful postseason, and guess what? Julius Randle has some of these Hawks things in his mind that he has to clear up with that, you know, the way that they defended him and stuff. So I think there's just more immediate competition with the Hawks than the Heat.
You know what? I think since both of you guys mentioned the Hawks, I'll go the other way. I'll go with the Heat, and from a regular season standpoint. I'm talking about regular season standpoint because I think the Hawks will finish with a better record than the Knicks. I think they'll finish higher. And I think the Knicks, the Heat, Celtics, I think those guys are going to be jockeying for 5 through 7. And I put the Heat up there because they've just had our number, man. Like I said, last year they swept us. We have no answers for that Heat defense, and it's gonna get even more stifling, man. When you factor in Tucker, you factor in Lowry. We'll see what Oladipo brings them. As you said, JD, 3-point shooting. You know, a couple years ago they were second in the league in 3-point percentage. Last year they finished 19th. I think obviously they still have Duncan Robinson there. Lowry's good to get you a timely 3 there. You know, the 3-point shooting doesn't necessarily scare me, but I think their physicality and their defense is something that I think will slow down the Knicks. And so I just feel like they will be jockeying for position in the East. And so I'm going to put them as the biggest competition. I still think we could see the Hawks in the regular season. We swept them in the regular season last year. Obviously, it's a much better team. But I'm going to put the Hawks up there in that top 3. I'm just going to put them up there in that top 3, pushing Philadelphia down. And I think 5, 6, 7 is going to be Heat, Knicks. And then I'll put the Celtics there as well. I'll put the Celtics there as well because I feel like they've improved defensively with Smart as a starter. Josh Richardson in that lineup. They got Horford back. He's going to space the floor for you. And the big man. I think the big man is going to be a problem for them. So I'll put the Heat first, then the Celtics. And hey, if we get up there, then I'll see the Hawks. I'll put the Hawks third. So that'll be my pick. Everybody in the chat, what do you guys think? Out of Miami, the Bulls, Celtics, Hawks, who do you think gives the Knicks the biggest competition next year? Throw some comments in the chat and let us know. All right, fellas, the next question comes from, this was the one I picked, my guy Brian, a.k.a. Random Knicks Guy. He said, of all the celebrities who are at Knicks games, who would you want to sit next to for a game? Can't pick Spike because I feel like he's a default answer. JD, who would you want to sit with, man?
Wow. I'm gonna go with Chris Rock or Tracy Morgan.
Okay, nice.
The reason is, here's the reason why. Because if the Knicks lose a heartbreaker, I'm still gonna come out the arena thinking the Knicks won, because how can you not, with all the jokes that Tracy Morgan will say, or Chris Rock, 48-minute game, I'm gonna come out of there thinking that the Knicks still won. So to me, even if the Knicks were to lose a game that I would attend with one of those guys, the experience would still be a pleasant and positive experience. So it would be one of them.
Good answer, man. CK, what are you thinking?
So I had Chris Rock on my list, but after that whole Miami Heat, Brooklyn Nets debacle last season, I don't know where to put him. So I was gonna refrain from.
We
the
don't
Chris
know where
Rock
he
answer.
stands. Where does
That's
Chris
what I was
Rock
just gonna say. I'm gonna
us?
refrain from the Chris Rock answer for right now.
Yeah.
But JD, you got me. Tracy Morgan was easily my answer. Tracy Morgan. You guys, not many of y'all come to Knicks games with me, but Papa Love, no, he matches my kind of energy as far as like the kind of things that would be said. I think Tracy Morgan would be a lot of fun, and like to JD's point, win or lose,
great answer.
I know I'll be leaving that thing knowing that we had a great time and that I felt like we won regardless of what the situation would have been. But it's so funny. I had the same two dudes in mind, but I just don't know if I can give Chris Rock an answer right now.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
Easy choice.
Great answer. For me, well, first off, I already had a pleasure of going with my guy Chuck D, the rhyme animal Chuck D. Shout out to Chuck, an absolute legend, a basketball historian. And that time was just a priceless moment for me, man. So Chuck is he's a student of the game. He's so passionate about the game, and our conversations are on that level. So I had a great time with him. A lot of the guys shout out to Fat Joe, man. They said he lost the Versus battle last night to Ja Rule. Shout out to Joe. But even like my conversations with him last year, it was very surface level. It didn't really seem like he's in it, night in, night out. And he's a busy guy. He's a very busy guy, a very successful guy. So I wouldn't necessarily expect him to. So I wouldn't really put Fat Joe up there. You know what? I'll put Jerry Ferrara up there, man. I put Jerry Ferrara up there. I thought, I had Jerry on the show after Game 3 or before Game 3, and we vibed out like the three of us would. Jerry's he's locked in. every game, every second, every minute, and so he's a very knowledgeable Knicks fan. So I just feel like the conversation and everything would be just like you hanging out with one of your boys, man. So I'm gonna go with Jerry Ferrara on that one, man. I'm gonna go with Jerry Ferrara on that one.
Good answer.
What do you guys think in the chat? Which is the celebrity who you would want to sit next to at the Knicks games? Throw a comment in the chat. All right, last question, fellas, from the mailbag. And then we'll just close with a couple rapid-fire news bits. The last question I was looking at is... Let's see. What was it? Okay. My guy Ken, shout out Ken TV5 on Twitter. He says, what do the Knicks need to get to the next level? Contender status. What do they need? I'll start. I think the way this roster is presently, composed, as I said earlier, it's RJ. It's RJ. Can he get to that 20-plus point per game All-Star caliber level on a consistent night in, night out basis? Can he be that guy? That number 3 pick for us. If he can do that, as this roster is composed, then I think you're talking legit 3 seed contender status if he can get us there. For me, it's RJ. Based on what the roster looks like right now. If not, then what you need is you need one of those guys. You got to go out and see if you get Bradley Beal. Is it Levine? Is it the Spider down the road? You got to get one of those guys who's already established himself as a guy right now in the league. So, CK, what do you think?
2 words: health and time. Health for sure, because you never know what we're gonna get, because we have a nice put together team. I feel like we keep all talking about the depth of this team, but health is always the big thing we're looking at, and time in multiple ways. Time being what these young guys that we got in the draft, like, are they somebody that we are actually going to be looking at down the road that are going to be big factors for the Knicks? Or time in a sense where, like you just said at the very end, when some of these contracts are up, when Damian Lillard's finally ready to get the hell out of Portland, any of those kind of scenarios come up where the Knicks are still going in the right direction and looking like a team that is actually going to be winning. We know the culture is back and all those kind of things. We can probably bring in one of those guys that can come in and be a part of it. So time in many different ways, but those are 2 words I'm looking at: time and health for the Knicks to be contenders in the East at the very least.
JD.
Well, Ken, if we can go the cliche route and say, health and luck, or if you're referring to the current team, then what you would probably need is, as CP mentioned, you need RJ to elevate. I think specifically defensively to be able to take some of the tougher assignments based on this roster construction. I think that would be one of his challenges for this upcoming season. And offensively, I think you just want him to continue to build and finishing at the rim, continue to get to the free throw line, and maybe get to the 20-point mark and translate that to the playoffs. If he doesn't do that, and Julius Randle doesn't duplicate last season's success and into the playoffs, then you need to make a trade. And you're looking at Zach LaVine, you're looking at Bradley Beal, maybe some of these, veterans and some of these other teams, maybe the Heat, I don't know, maybe they collapse and you try to get a veteran there or something like that. That's where you would be looking for to add to the Knicks, because I think when people say contending, I mean, what does that mean? I'm taking it as Eastern Conference Finals. When someone wants to ask that question, I don't think he wants to talk about second round.
No.
I think you're talking Eastern Conference
legit,
Finals.
Top Final Four
Eastern
type.
Conference Finals, top Final Four to get to the finals.
Right.
You need RJ to elevate. You need Kemba to stay healthy, and you need Julius to not fall too far behind from those other 2 players. Or you make a trade. That's basically it.
That is a fact. What do you guys think in the chat, man? What do the Knicks need to be a legit contender? Leave some comments in the chat. So to everybody who submitted some mailbag questions. And man, I like this segment, man. We'll do another one next week. Salute to everybody who submitted. Real quick, rapid fire news, fellas. Some bad news, man. First off, Clyde's Wine and Dine is shutting down. Clyde's Wine and Dine is shutting down, man. I was disappointed to hear that. because I thought it was a great restaurant, man. Great food, great vibe, very large restaurant. For those of you in New York City, I mean, Clyde stretched, the entire block of 10th Avenue from between, I think it's 32nd to 33rd Street. I forgot the cross streets, but it was a great venue. Had the opportunity of being there multiple times over the years, and just a great spot, man. I'm not sure the exact reason why it's shutting down. People are speculating whether it's the indoor COVID rules that they're not going to be able to sustain. I really don't know. I'm trying to find out. But Clyde's Wine and Dine announced yesterday that they will no longer be going concern, man. JD, your thoughts, bro?
I mean, it's definitely sad, man. Just because of who's behind it. Well, Clyde Frazier. I think that's the number one thing. It's you're talking about the guy that announces the broadcast with the Knicks and one of the most stylish and profiling figures that we have in NBA circles. So just starting there, it's terrible news, and the connection to the franchise and then the connection to the fans. I never had the pleasure to go there, and it's funny because I had it as one of my bucket lists for this year. It's just, I mean, I live in New York City, and it's one of those things that Knicks haven't really been good. So, I've just gone straight to the games. Last year, they finally are giving us a reason for this year to continue to cheer up the team and attend the game. So I was looking forward to going to that venue, the restaurant this season. It's not going to happen, but it's not much more to say, man.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing.
Tough, man. CK, how about you, bro?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of going 2 times, and like you said, food was great. The atmosphere was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I saw the chat talking about the suits on the roof, and it was just a really cool spot. It's unfortunate, from a lesser standpoint, the jokes that were always made throughout the broadcast, those are going to be gone now. He had a lot of fun advertising it in funny ways, as far as talking about other players should be checking it out. They might need a style, like all those kind of things. Are going to be missed. I don't know the real reason. My first thought is, like you said, the pandemic. I feel like it was just another one that unfortunately got hit because of everything going on with big Rona out there. But it's really unfortunate because I felt like it would have benefit so well to what JD was just saying. With the Knicks' success and the Knicks making this turn, I feel like a lot more people would have been making that trip over to Clyde's Wine and Dine in the next few seasons. So it really sucks that they weren't able to survive the summer and get into the regular season where they probably would have gone a lot more business. So really, really upsetting, and especially for Clyde, who is somebody that we all love and support. It's definitely something that it really hurts.
Yeah, 100%, man. You hit the nail on the head. As I said, one of the best times I had at Clyde's, man, was meeting Clyde and Anthony Mason in one night, man. Got
That's
a chance
crazy.
to take a picture with him. That was an iconic moment, just a random night. I don't even think it was an event. It might have been like one of them spirit tastings or something like that, and they were there. And yeah, it was just a crazy night. And then most recently, Dick Barnett had his Legends lunch at Clyde's Wine and Dine, so I got a chance to. We interviewed with Jake Brown. We interviewed Bill Hoskett, some of the guys from the '70s team, Mike Reardon, and then Spike. And Dr. Barnett himself, man. So that was a good time. And then for those of you that didn't see it, we also did a watch party at Clyde's. The last one we did against the Thunder. Shout out my guys from Knicks Austria and Germany, the Austria and Germany contingent. But if you guys didn't see, you know how Ari always calls in and brags about how much he could hoop, man. Well, we caught Ari on display at Clyde's Wine and Dine. I don't know how many drinks deep he was after this, but we definitely captured some classic moments with Ari on the court. I don't know what he was doing right here. I'm not sure if this was his go-to move back in the day, but clearly, not a professional basketball player by any stretch. But I'll let Ari explain his actions because he swore he was the point guard extraordinaire, but it wasn't that night. But anyway, man, shout out to Ari, shout out to Clyde's Wine and Dine, and appreciate all the years of service that they gave to the community for sure. Other news: Miles McBride has signed with Nike, so the deuce is loose with the swoosh. That's like a Clyde, Ron. That's a Clyde bar right there. You know what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
is.
That was a little
Perfect
freestyle,
transition.
bro. Yeah, that was a little freestyle. But yeah, Miles McBride signing with Nike, so shout out to him, man. Continuing to level up. Shout out to Miles McBride. And then yesterday, the bombshell, man. I was on the podcast with with Alex and Jay, Knicks, Jets, etc. Shout out to them. And we were talking about Frank and talking about how the European team over in either Italy or Spain was interested in him. But I told him, I think he's going to try to stick it out and stay in the NBA. 5 minutes later, Mark Stein drops the bomb. Frank Ntilikina has signed a deal with the Dallas Mavericks, fellas.
Yeah.
So Frank going over to Knicks West. And I say that because they now have Frank. They got the KP, Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
We got Tim Hardaway Jr. We got Reggie Bullock, newly acquired. Put some respect on his name. You got Trey Burke.
Trey Burke. My guy.
So the Mavs really trying to build themselves a little orange and blue team over there, man. How we feeling about this, man?
I like it, but my thing was I thought the love for Frank was a Rick Carlisle thing. That's why I'm a little confused about. Like, I fine, sure, because a lot of people are saying like, you know, they're tying it to the draft, and the Mavericks were really high on Frank Ntilikina, which was very true. But it was predominantly a lot that had to do with Rick Carlisle. So now that he's not there, I just hope Frank is not putting himself in this another situation that he's been in with the Knicks, where he's getting put into all these regimes that don't know what to do with him or not gonna want to do much with them. I feel like that's what's being set up here with the Mavericks again. But like you said, I'm happy for the kid. Glad he's getting a chance with the Knicks and sorry, the Mavericks. You see how I slipped up there?
Slipped up, yeah.
But you know, but all jokes aside, like I mean, at least he's gonna go where he's gonna be comfortable because he knows a lot of these dudes. But I'm just looking at how he's going to be used, if he's going to be used at all. I think we'll see how that goes. But good for Frank.
JD, how you feeling, man? Were you a Frank Hive member, bro? Where did you stand with Frank?
Was I what?
There's your answer. All right.
I was. I wasn't like crazy Frank Hive.
Yeah.
I was one of those.
Right,
I was a
sure.
Frank fan.
Right.
I had high hopes for him. You know, I'm a defense guy, so I gravitate to guys that can play defense. So I thought he was going to be like this defensive stopper, one of the best defensive players in the league, and all that stuff. It just didn't work out here, and so you know, will the Knicks regret not re-signing Frank?
No.
I'm getting the Frank Hive.
Right, don't do that.
No, they won't. And shout out my guy Moke Hamilton for he wrote a little piece in Basketball News saying that Frank's lack of development was an indictment on the Knicks, and I'm just like, give me a break, man. You got to have actual talent before you can talk about the lack of development. Frank just wasn't that good here. I was a member of the Frank Hive. I'm just keeping it a buck. He just wasn't that good. And I don't even think, from what people are saying, I don't even think this is a full contract. I think this is a training camp contract.
Yeah.
Because I think they already have 15 people on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'll say this like I said, I just, was a straight up Frank. I was a Frank fan. It wasn't a good sign when, he went through the off season. And, you and I saw that report, CP, where there was interest in him, overseas. And the fact that, he's accepted this contract this late into the free agency tells you that there was minimal, if at all, interest in his services throughout, this off season. So that's already not a great sign for a guy that, supposedly can play defense in a league that is short of defensive players. You would think that you could find a role for a guy that can come into your team and provide some, great defense in such a, strong offensive league. So to me, that wasn't a good sign. Now, I will say this. If there is a team that could maximize something out of him, it's the Dallas Mavericks because of the other Knicks that they've had that have had success in that organization. Ray Burke, has been a solid contributor to their team in spots. Tim Hardaway's has had career seasons from the 3-point line in Dallas. You know, Porzingis just hasn't been healthy. Now they have Reggie Bullock. Let's see where that goes. So I'm sure Mark Cuban looked at that track record of former Knicks coming to our team and having, you know, some sort of a better or rejuvenation, whatever you want to call it. And they said, let's see if we can get something out of
Take a flyer
Frank.
on him.
So other than that, I don't see what else, you know, is there to look at, you know, with Frank at this
Luka,
point.
man.
Yeah,
Luka going to benefit the most from this, man.
when Frank got scrappy with Luka that time at
yeah,
MSG,
Luka going to benefit from this because now he has him in practice, so he going that's as best as it's going to be. So now he can play Frank in practice all the time and he can get better. I don't know. I'm just trying to stir the pot there. That's for the Frank Hive.
Trying to do something.
That's
well, the Frank Hive is
is
alive and well for now, and we'll see what happens in Dallas, man. All right, let's close the show. Angel from Philly. Angel, first off, who won the battle between Joe from Shaolin and Jay from Florida? Who won the battle, man?
Yo, what's good, CP? How you doing,
what's
bro?
Good, bro?
Before I tell you who won, I gotta say what's up to my guy JD. Sports was good, bro. My guy CK2K was good, bro. How you feeling?
Smooth. What's up, bro?
All right, so I'm gonna go with Joel. It was like kind of, I don't know. I gotta go with him because I'm gonna get to my points on why I think Jay from Florida lost, right? So I just hate having that loser's mentality, man. When you really look at the last 20 years of the Knicks draft picks, right? I mean, just check this out, right? First of all, we had Jordan Hill, Iman Shumpert, Frank Ntilikina, all right? They're all garbage, all right? Kevin Knox, what has Kevin Knox done? Cleanthony Early, what did he do? Porzingis had one good year, and what is he doing now? We got Gallinari, who is okay, you know, but he's not with us anymore. Then you got Wilson Chandler. I mean, how many draft picks did we have, and we didn't have any luck at all when it comes to the draft? And then you having this loser's mentality. Look at how many teams had that same mentality. Look at Phoenix before they got Chris Paul. They were god-awful until they got Chris Paul. You look at the Cavaliers before they got, besides LeBron and Kyrie. How many times have they been in the lottery? And they still haven't done anything, and they're still going to suck. You look at teams like the Kings. Look at how many high draft picks the Sacramento Kings had, and they still haven't done anything. Look at Detroit. Detroit had a whole, besides the championship year, look at how many times they were in the draft lottery, and it didn't pan out. Look at the Timberwolves. How many draft picks have they had? You can't have that loser's mentality and just think that you're just all of a sudden going to be like the Spurs or the Warriors or the Lakers or the Celtics. These are teams that honestly have won consistently. Not everybody is going to be those franchises. So that's why I'm going to go with Joel, because look at how many draft picks that I just named, and we still haven't hit, really. And now we got RJ. RJ was a good draft pick, but he's developing. Look at how many different coaches we didn't have, front offices, you know, presidents. You know, like we done been through that losing mentality, and it never got us anywhere. So now that we have a functional front office, now we're drafting well. We're building the team right. Man, you got to have a winner's mentality if you want to win a championship. So I'm going to go to, you know, who about the standings, right? I got the Nets first. I got the Bucks. I got Atlanta third. And here's the kicker. I got the Knicks as the 4th seed, man, because let me tell you something. We got swept by Miami. All right, they got our number, and we don't lost 20 straight to the Sixers. Well, I'm here to tell you, now that we got Kemba and now we got some offense, we're going to beat both of those teams also, all right? So we're going to be the 4th seed. I got the Sixers at the 5th seed. I got the Heat. And then I got Boston, and I got the Bulls, man. Y'all got to have that mentality, man. And just like JD, when I told you, hey, don't go from 49, go to 50, brother, I had to convince you to get, you know what I mean, for us winning 50 games, we going to get 50 wins, man, because when you look at this team right now, ain't nobody expect us to do what we did, right? We play hard, we play deep because we built it the right way, and I think we're only going to get better. We won 41 games with Reptile. Elfrid Payton, he is god-awful. He is awful, bro. We won 41 games without having a legit point guard. So if you want some motivation on how we going to win 50 games, then I'm going to give you motivation, right? Even with Reggie Bullock, yeah, he can shoot and play some defense, but he can't put the ball on the floor. He can't pass like that. You feel me? And then, you know, when you look at how we built our team this year, come on, man, like, who has a better bench than us right now? Maybe Utah, but nobody else has a better bench than us, especially in the East. So, man, y'all gotta have that positive mentality, man. And it's the one and only. It's your boy Angel from Philly. And
Yes,
you
sir.
know what? If I go to a Knicks game this year, I'm gonna tell you somebody famous I want to go to the game with.
Yeah.
My man CP. You want to know why?
Let's go.
Because you the man, bro. You the
Appreciate
man. You
you,
know,
bro.
I got my Knicks fan TV hat on right now. Y'all
Let's
gotta
go.
show some love and make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, man.
Let's go,
And
Angel.
as always, y'all, thank you guys for taking my call, guys. Appreciate it.
Let's go. Everybody throw 5 in the chat for Angel breaking it down. He broke down the fight, broke down his top 8, and he's rocking his KnicksFanTV snapback, man. That's a 5 for me, bro. Great job, Angel. Great job, everybody in the chat. I want to shout out Mr. William in the chat. Always tuning in. He sends a super chat. He says, JD, don't apologize for saying 50 wins. So Mr. William is with you, JD. And he also says that Joel won the fight. And the chat has voted, and the chat has spoken. 68% have voted for Joel as tonight's winner of the Battle of the Fans. So, Jay, it's all good, man. You just gotta, come back to the drawing board. Even Deontay Wilder lost a couple. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just get back in training camp and come back stronger, bro. We got you, man. CK, as we sign out here, man, your Saints look like the Breeze era is over and the Jameis era is upon us, man. 5 touchdowns. How you feeling, bro? After week 1, how you feeling, bro?
I try to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you guys, do not worry about Jameis Winston over here. We good. That y'all gonna keep tabs on these interceptions. We good. We good. I'm excited about Jameis Winston. Most touchdowns of every quarterback this weekend against the Packers. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling very good, bro. I've been saying it before he took a snap, and I'm gonna keep with it. Jameis Winston, baby. Jameis Winston. Who that?
Man, speaking of the Packers, I got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback in fantasy.
Oh, damn. Sorry about that, bro.
Got me negative points. It was abysmal, man. And insult to injury, I had Jameis as the backup, dropped him trying to do too much in my waiver wire GM, lost him this morning, couldn't get him back.
Oh, no, bro.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I'm too cheap with the salary cap money, man. I never learn, and I always lose out on players, man. JD, main event tomorrow. As I told you in Smilk, it always happens. We staring at 0-2 in the face, and then by week 3, we trying to figure out scenarios that could keep us in this thing. It's ridiculous, bro. Here we go again. They got Heineke at quarterback, Washington, and I'm still not confident that we're gonna win this game, bro. Give me something good, man. What can I leave my hat on to say this is why we can win this game, bro?
All right. Daniel Jones is 4-0 against the Redskins. The Washington no-names.
Okay.
So he's 4-0 against them, so we can lean on that to start out. And the Giants have individually just dominated that matchup, in terms of all the other NFC East teams in recent memory. So that's another thing to lean on. The third thing is the quarterback. Yes, the Giants do have question marks, but so do Washington at this point. Ryan Fitzpatrick was their starter. He got hurt. Now Taylor Heineke will be, the eventual starter. And he's not, what you would call a top-tier quarterback. So the Giants defense, which was supposed to be an elite defense, and I don't know what Giants defense showed up in week 1.
No.
They have no choice. They better show up tomorrow. And that's what I'm banking on. And if they do, the Giants defense that was supposed to be advertised, if that defense shows up, I think the Giants win tomorrow. The Washington, they're coming off a home loss. So both teams are 0-1. So, both teams are going to come in fighting. They understand what it means. This is a division game. Division games are not easy. The Giants are in a tough spot here because of the whole management of Kadarius Toney, their first-round pick. What type of snaps is Saquon Barkley going to get in a short week?
Don't look like he's playing. And I didn't think he was going to play either. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to play him.
I mean, I think he'll play tomorrow. I just don't know how many snaps he's going to get in terms of
I need this. I need
snaps.
this. All right, so bench him. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Keep going.
CK's got him on the fantasy, man.
Keep going. All right.
There's a lot of implications on this panel right now.
I wouldn't say bench him, but listen, Daniel Jones has pressure. Joe Judge is starting to feel some heat. I mean, this Giants fan base, everybody's upset, man. This team needs to show some type of pulse. They need to show improvement.
Yeah.
I do think they win tomorrow, but I'm not saying that so confidently. I just look at the history of the matchup, and I'm just looking at the quarterback of Washington. I think the Giants do just enough, and I think they win 17-13.
Oof, I had 17 in my head too, man. I said 17. We'll see.
The Giants are never going to score 20 points. So
that's the problem. That is the problem, bro.
So,
with all the weapons, why can we not score? We haven't scored points in like 5 years, bro. But we'll see what happens Sunday, man. Hopefully I'm in a better mood. Well, actually, they play tomorrow, so I'll have some time to recover, win or lose, either way, man. But great show, fellas. JD, go ahead and sign out, man. Let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Well, JD Sports Talk on YouTube, JD Sports Talk NY on Twitter. Real quick, let me put some context to this. Y'all keep saying we got swept by the Heat. And we did. We did. But we lost 109-103 when the Knicks were 11-14. And Derrick Rose didn't play that game. Game that Derrick Rose did play, we were lost 98-96.
Right, they lost at the buzzer. RJ missed the layup. I hear you.
RJ had rough games.
I hear you.
And then we lost 98-88 in the third matchup. So,
third matchup we got washed, bro.
Yeah. That game is when all your concerns happen.
It really wasn't close. Yeah.
Physicality, all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens this year. That's it.
Fair points, man. Great job, JD. CK, go ahead and close out, mate.
As always, you know what it is. Find me everywhere at CK2K. That's Twitter, Instagram, here on YouTube. You know what it is. Videos will be back next week. Taking a little bit. I'm enjoying this offseason a little bit as I get some other stuff together. I was glad to be back here tonight, though. A lot of fun talking Knicks. Y'all already jumping out the window with the 50 wins. I don't know if I could join that just yet, but I love the energy. I love the excitement. And I love the fact that we got to talk about my boy James Winston for a few seconds. Jameis Winston, baby. That's all I got. Subscribe, what it is.
Great job as usual, fellas, man. Great show. And salute to everybody in the chat once again, man. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Great show, man. Remember, the show's available in audio podcast format. All of the podcast links for tonight's show will be up on KnicksFanTV.com in just a few minutes. So if you miss it on video, you can catch it in audio podcast format, all the major podcast platforms. So just look out for it. Remember, the show is also presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. I'll have more announcements on whether or not we get more tickets for the Knicks home opener, but for right now, it is sold out. We sold out, man. So we'll see what happens if we can get some more. I'll come back on live sometime this week and I'll let you guys know, man. All right. So for JD, CK2K, CP's friend.